the country's largest mobile network with over 760 million subscribers, and Apple and China Mobile are counting on each other to increase their market share. Let's take a listen to what one analyst thinks the partnership will do for Apple.
It's going to help Apple to sell more phones in China. It's at a time when Apple's actually started to lose some of its allure, globally, in terms of their ability to sell a lot of phones. So there's no doubt it's good for them. They had the iPhone 5 out for, more than a year. And it's just now coming to China Mobile, so it's not new enough, right? It doesn't have enough wow factor anymore to really move the needle, even at China Mobile.
And here in France, the government is sitting down this Friday with unions over unemployment benefits.
That's right, and these talks could lead to major reforms. Now, some of the companies are arguing that the unemployment system in France is too generous. Let's take a look at some of that information. In terms of the period of time needed for people to get access to benefits, France is generous, just 4 months compared to the Netherlands, 6 months, Germany and Spain 1 year, and Italy 2 years. Now, Nicholas Rushworth has a look at 2 people in France that are currently unemployed and their attitudes towards the system.
This man, who prefers to remain anonymous, lost his job in April. He gets €1,000 a month in benefits and looked for work initially, but gave up in October. He says he worked hard while in employment. The dole now is a well-earned rest.
I look after my children, I do sport, everything I couldn't do when I was working. It's like a holiday. It's not great for morale, but I believe I have the right to the benefits and should profit from them.
The system in France does, in theory, oblige people to search for work. Each day employed opens the right to 1 day of unemployment benefits, which are paid out for 2 to 3 years. For Katia, no day is wasted. She's been on the dole now for 15 months and has sent out 450 CVs and had just 10 job interviews. She feels one idea being mooted by employers, decreasing dole payments as each month passes, would be just too much stress.
That's going to add pressure. It won't relax me, that's for sure. I honestly don't see what more I can do now in terms of searching for a job.
The government needs to cut costs to meet deficit targets. Negotiations now on the benefit system should result in changes by the end of March.
The job search continues for many here in France, and you're going to take us through the markets next, William.
That's right. A mixed opening for the European markets. Royal Dutch on the FTSE's down over 4% after being hit by weak industry conditions. And you can see the Frankfurt opening up flat and the CAC 40 up 0.1%. In Asia, stocks were mixed when they closed this ahead of China releasing economic data next week. Many analysts expect the country's economy to continue slowing in the first quarter. The Shanghai Composite was down nearly 1%. Now let's take a look at some of the other top business stories. The U.S. Senate easily passed a $1.1 trillion spending bill. This effectively ends the threat of a government shutdown until the end of September. It also marks a truce, at least a temporary one, after years of budget battles between Democrats and Republicans. The bill now goes to President Barack Obama, who's expected to sign it.
The world's largest chip maker, Intel, says its net profit sank 13% last year. The Californian-based company has been lagging as tablet and smartphone popularity surges. As a result, the company has been shifting focus to other divisions like its data center business.
And 200,000 fewer new cars were sold in the European Union last year. Italy saw the biggest fall at just over 7%, followed by France's 5.7% decline. But even the EU's strongest economy wasn't immune. In Germany, sales slid more than 4%.
And finally, if you think that Paris is the most visited city in the world, you'd be wrong. I believe it's London, William.
That's right. That's according to new figures. Now, Paris is already arguing how those tallies were calculated, but let's just call it the rivalry between the Big Apple, New York, the city of love, Paris, and what they're calling the Big Smoke, or London. But London tourism officials say that they saw a 20% jump this past summer versus the year they held the Olympics. And what they're saying is that they haven't had a summer this good since the Norman invasion.
William Hildebrand, thank you very much for that roundup of the business news here on France 24. And next, we're going to see what's grabbing headlines around the world. Florence Villeminot is here, and you're going to start with the 3rd anniversary of the Arab Spring.
That's right. There's a lot of assessment going on 3 years after the beginning of the Arab Spring. And The Guardian points out that it's hard not to compare certain countries, especially Egypt and Tunisia, which were very similar before the Arab Spring. And The Guardian wonders, where did Tunisia get it right and where did Egypt go wrong? It appears that the revolution made it in Tunisia and it's been broken in Egypt. For instance, The Guardian points out that in Tunisia, an elected assembly has produced the most liberal political ground rules in the Arab world, while in Egypt, 90% of voters just voted on a referendum which will validate the army-led coup that ousted the first democratically elected president, Mohamed Morsi. Another article, this time in Asharq al-Awsat, which is a pan-Arab based